I always felt, and he's not green, but I always felt like Optimus Prime is black. Does that resonate with you, or am I alone in that?
Optimus Prime.
You think Sky's giving me a kind of?
I mean, what kind of car does Optimus Prime turn into? And I can tell you if he's black. Hellcat. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a black man. He turns into like a semi truck. You know. So I don't know.
No, that could be working class black dad. I could buy that.
I don't know.
And his name is Optimus. I feel like that's a black name.
That's a black name.
I feel like he grew up in the church.
Optimus! Optimus Jamarcus Prime. Get your ass in here. Optimus, stop being a truck. Stop going back to Cybertron getting that Energon Cube. Optimus, I told you to take a ticket at the freezer. Hi, welcome to the Help Me Be Black podcast with Skyler Higley. I know I don't say my name every intro, but guess what? I change it. That's what I do. I change it. And maybe it's ADHD, and maybe it's ADHD. Hey, this is the podcast where I bring on comedians to help me be black. Today, my guest is incredible comedian, hilarious dude. You've seen his damn TikToks. He's around. Everybody, make a lot of noise in your homes. Clap it up for Amo Manny, everybody.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Yeah.
They're clapping at home.
Yeah, I'm sure. Thanks appreciate the intro, bro.
Thanks for being here. Was it a good intro?
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
good.
it pretty much summarized my whole.
Okay, good.
Whole
as you can tell, I'm like new at podcasting, so I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know. But you seem, first of all, you seem like you take me for who I am, so I appreciate that about you.
Of course, man. No doubt.
So you are, I mean, obviously, I've seen a lot of your TikToks. Did you start off more doing like TikTok and like the content stuff, or did you start doing stand-up and then go, oh, I'm gonna be good at this internet shit?
Yeah, great question. I would say I started the stand-up a little under 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking, like, what's the best way to, like, kind of, like, be efficient with my time? And I guess just, like, probably 6 months into my stand-up, I started posting clips.
Mm-hmm.
I was posting clips of stand-ups at open mics, but then I found out that TikTok, for some reason, liked when I just did my bits in selfie mode. So I just treated my phone like an open mic, essentially. And, you know, if it got some good engagement online, I'd like bring it to an open mic or a show and try to develop it into a bit. So that was pretty much my strategy.
Mean, it's a great way to be workshopping material. Like I did do it the other day where I posted like just like a video of like whatever, just me doing like kind of a character or whatever. Mm-hmm. Not really a character, but just it was Judas on Easter and it was just me talking. And then I did that, and I'm like, that's basically an act out. Let me try that on stage. I tried it on stage. It worked. And I'm like, what? Why am I not doing this all the time? Yeah. This is so efficient. Like, I think it's because the traditional forms of comedy would dictate, like, oh, that's like not what you do. But it's like, who cares about that?
Yeah, and I feel like it's so interesting because sometimes you'll get advice from older comics, and they'll say like, oh, don't post your clips until you're like 3 years in. And like, I get where they're saying, because they're like, yeah, be good first. And that's like great advice. But technology has just shifted so much that you have to kind of take that advice with a grain of salt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everything's different now. And there's a lot of traditional advice that, have you ever heard like the saying, the note behind the note? Mm-hmm. Where it comes from TV writing or writing and stuff. But a lot of times people will read something that you wrote, and they will give a note to be like, oh, I think it should be like this. And a lot of times you'll hear that and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're stupid. But then you're trying to hear what the note is behind the note. Like maybe they expressed like, hey, I don't know, maybe this character should be a woman or something. And maybe that's like a dumb note that you're like, why would I do that? But maybe like the note behind the note is that you maybe in general don't have enough diversity of characters or something like that. So when somebody that is a older comic says, hey, don't post anything until you're 3 years in, I will feel like the note behind the note is that it's like, hey, like if you're gonna post something or whatever, don't just be putting out bullshit in front of people who will then don't give them an opportunity to think, oh, this person's bullshit, and I'm just gonna move on.
Exactly.
Like, it's not. It's. I think that is what it is. So you do need to mitigate stuff in that way, but that's whatever.
We'll put the note beyond the note.
This is the note beyond the note. That's for, hey, sometimes this podcast is a comedy podcast. We can do that because we're comedians. Don't get mad at me. So today you decided that your topic was going to be Black church, which I've never been to.
Amen.
But yeah, amen. First of all, praise the Lord.
The opposite, actually, I think.
Oh, really?
No, I feel like you've been to the opposite of a Black church.
Yeah, truly. In many ways, the Mormon church is kind of, in a lot of ways, diametrically opposed to a Black church.
Yeah.
Are you currently a religious person?
I wouldn't say super religious, but I do believe in like a higher power.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you believe in like a Jesus style higher power, or just like higher power, like you? And if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. I'm not trying to put you on any kind of list, but like, do you think it's like Christian-ish, or like is something?
Yeah. I think I would say I'm like theistic and like culturally Christian because both my parents are Christian, so it's just easier like culturally and societally to fit like into that, like going to church on Easter with my parents is just easier than if I was like a part of Islam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just goes a lot more smoothly. But like my opinion, and it's just like, I don't think we can conceptualize something as grand as like what the concept of God would be. I don't think it could be condensed into a book, a Bible, or Quran, or whatever the case may be. So it's just like,
and the Torah, we're including y'all too.
Yeah, and
we're including y'all too. We're including y'all too. You can't just say the two of them.
Yeah. So I can't say. Yeah. So bro, I can't just say I know what it is. I'm just choosing to kind of get in line with something that I grew up with.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Do you feel that is, and sorry to start off so intense with it, but do you feel like that is a something that makes you comfortable because of childhood, or do you feel that you have some sense of you have felt that is real somewhere? I don't know if that question makes sense, but
I know.
Do you feel like it's a psychological, like, oh yeah, maybe that's not like exactly what it is, but it makes me feel good? Or you're like, no, actually I think there is something there, and I don't think it's just about me.
Oh, I'll definitely say the prior, bro.
Okay.
Like I would say like I grew up in the church, so I would say like the cultural end of it is way more powerful for me personally than like the theistic aspect of it.
Right.
Because I feel like if I was born in Bangladesh, I would be a kind of agnostic Muslim. You know what I mean?
No,
so
exactly.
It's really circumstance, and I don't believe. Me personally, I don't believe I have the hardware up here to really truly conceptualize like what God would be.
Yeah, and as with all religion and culture, it is like culture is in essence like human circumstance, where like you are here. The only reason why I grew up Mormon is because I grew up in Salt Lake City. You know what I mean? Like I got adopted. I grew up. That's like the whole premise of the podcast, kind of, where it's like, yeah, you were this way because you were over here, and if you were over here, you might be this other way. So it's kind of dumb to assume like this one way that because you were over here, that makes that thing literally completely true. Like, I don't know if God told, what's his name, who had to murk his son?
Oh, Abraham.
I don't know if God literally told Abraham to murk his son, or if Abraham just had a form of schizophrenia and they didn't know what that was at the time.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, God told me and whatever. And then people write that down. But it's like, if you had undiagnosed schizophrenia in Bible times, bro, you were rocking.
Yeah, you were a prophet, low-key.
You were getting in that book.
Yeah,
you were getting in that book. You were like, oh, you know what? You know what a bush told me? Now people would be like, get that man some whatever pills he needs. Back then, they were like, hey, write that down.
Yeah.
Write that down. That burning bush talked to him. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. So you grew up in the church. Was there a specific like sect of Christianity, or was it just broadly Christian?
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I think, at least for my parents, they went through like 3 iterations of Christianity.
Oh.
Yeah, not for any intense reasons you might think, bro. Like, because both of my parents are Nigerian immigrants.
Okay.
So they were, at least my mom, she was originally Catholic, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, they have black Catholics. I guess New Orleans is another place you find that.
Yeah, I think it happens.
Yeah.
I think I've known some black Catholics.
Right.
It does happen.
Yeah. But they came over here, and the thing was, it was just logistics. Like, the black church, the Catholic church they went to was Spanish speaking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, they got, like, the palabra of God, I suppose. And then they were like, oh, well, we kind of want to be around, like, black people.
Mm-hmm.
So that ended up being, like, the Baptist church. Okay. So we went to Baptist church for, like, a decade.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, like, later on in my teenage years, we went to a Calvary Chapel.
Oh,
which is like...
What is Calvary?
Well, it's kind of like a franchise, low key. It's a white church, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, white people churches have franchises.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's a Calvary Chapel, and it was, I guess it'd be non-denominational. Okay. So yeah, it was just like that was kind of like the progression.
That's interesting. Did you notice a like specific difference between the different churches you were at for like the different? Were there ones that you liked better or worse than the others?
Yeah, I would just say it wasn't really one that like better or worse. It was just like different.
What was the best, or what was there one that was like, so like, were you ever doing anything like some weird shit came up like, hey, we're gonna speak in tongues now? Did you ever have that experience where you're like, I don't know if
I mean, so they didn't really have tongues, but they would like, you know, jump around and shout. Yeah. But I didn't think that was too intense. But honestly, you know what's so funny about that? Like, that shouldn't actually be so crazy, because if you truly do believe a God exists, like, you should be zealous about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't be like, oh, God exists. Oh, that's chill. All right, I'm going to go watch the Super Bowl. Like, you actually should be like kind of
like that. It would make you dance. Yeah. I think if you really believed in like heaven and everything is gonna be great after you die because you did the right stuff. Yeah, I might get up and kind of hit the quan.
Hit the quan. Yeah,
hey,
in the view.
Yeah, you gotta get down low and swing your arm. That's what the Lord says.
Yeah, then we hit the organ. Yeah, got you.
Hit the quan. That's cool, man. When do you start thinking? Because it's like non-denominationalist, whatever. Were you going consistently through 20s, college, anything like that?
Great question. I would say in college. I'd say in high school is when I went the most, because I went to Catholic school in high school. So once a month we have the Catholic Mass on top of like the every Sunday going to like the non-denominational church. So like, yeah, I was going to church like 17 times. No.
Whoa.
5 times a month. Sorry, bad
5 times. Oh, 5 times a month.
Yeah. I was going to church like 5 times a month, so once a week and then once a month for mass.
Okay.
And then when I was in college, I didn't really go to church as much, but I would like, if somebody was like, "Are you a Christian or whatever?" I'd be like, "Yeah," and then they might invite me to like a Bible study. And then I did come back home because I went to college in California, so I'd come back home, and if I was home, I'd go to church with like family and stuff. So,
that's like nice. Yeah,
but then after my 20s, not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you feel like you learned the most from like black church? Because every one of these churches was black, yeah.
So no, that's that's another difference. The Calvary Chapel is pretty diverse actually. It's a mix and match. It's like everybody. Okay. Like Latino, Asian, Black, white, Polynesian, all that. It's like everybody.
Now, when they're at Calvary Chapel, where it's like everybody, I feel like getting the Holy Ghost and dancing is like a black thing. We're like I'm just wondering, like, do Koreans ever hit the Holy Ghost? You know,
not at my church though.
Because you know, hit the Kwan. I feel like Kwan's a Korean name, even. Yeah. I feel like that.
I think it is. Yeah, Michelle Kwan. Yeah.
I feel like you really could. I don't know. I don't know that section of the world, but you didn't really see.
Why are Koreans on top of your mind? That's what I'm curious about.
I just went for an example of Asian people, and Korean was the number one nationality I went with. It could be Vietnamese. I bet Vietnamese people could hit the Kwan if you want.
I think so. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Y'all have proved, Asians. Y'all have proved you're good at dancing. Okay, so we with you on that. Thank 100%. You. You're welcome for the dancing. Thank you for anime. It's a cultural exchange.
Yeah, what are they called? The boy band BTS? Is that the
BTS, K-pop?
Yeah. Actually, fair enough. Yeah, they do be gigging.
They really do. Yeah. They kind of have made a whole industry about it. How do you feel about K-pop as a genre?
I mean, for the most part, I'm fine with it. Like, I think there might be some examples where there could be some overstepping in regard to like appropriation, but for the most part, I think it's harmless and fun. Yeah.
Okay. I've just been, I'd be looking at and I'm sure you see this too. Like, there's all this discourse about, K-pop is stolen from black people. Essentially, it's R&B. Like, we don't need K-pop. We've got R&B at home or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just wonder, like, how much of that, as an internet person, are you seeing and getting into and feeling like, oh, this is, how much do you let the waves of discourse like influence like the way you're thinking about stuff as someone who is on the internet?
Yeah, I mean, probably more than I'd like to admit, because I think when you feel like marketing or commercials or discourse or whatever like propaganda is out there doesn't work on you, that's when it works on you the best.
Right.
So I want to be like open and honest about like how I can also be influenced, even though I'm a grown man who thinks he's an independent thinker. With the K-pop discourse, I mean, it's like, I just feel like Black American culture is so used to kind of being like, I guess like appropriated or ripped off oftentimes. Like, you even look at like Gen Z slang. Yeah. That's really just how like black dudes in Oakland or Detroit were talking 10 years ago.
Right.
Right. But it could sometimes be co-opted into like, oh, that's just Gen Z slang, but it's actually black people slang.
Right.
Right. And I even can do that because like I'm a Nigerian American and I have a different ancestral background than a lot of like Black Americans. And I'm missing a huge part of American history. So I can also like appropriate Black culture. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I didn't really contribute to it.
Sure.
I'm a beneficiary of it.
Yes. So do you feel like personally that you just touched on, you felt like you personally are appropriating as a Nigerian person? Do you feel that is appropriation, or like, because you grew up in America?
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, I mean, this is like kind of a diaspora wars element to it, but like, do you think that like, if you're Nigerian growing up in America, I don't know if appropriation maybe like feels the same, but you tell me how you feel about that. Is that?
Yeah. I don't know if appropriation is the word, but like, have you been up to date on like this FBA discourse?
Somewhat, but explain it to the people who don't know.
Yeah, so FBA, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe is Foundational Black American, which are descendants of slaves in the United States, which are Black descendants of slaves in the United States, as opposed to the diaspora coming over from the Caribbean or, in my parents' case, Nigeria. And so I agree with having a delineation there. I'm fine with people taking ownership of their heritage.
For sure.
And Black people that have been here than most white people. I'm fine with them taking the reins of that. When we start to get like too like self-segregated, that's when I take an issue with it. So I wouldn't say that like me being a Nigerian American, I'm appropriating it, but like, it's hard to explain. Like, I'm almost like a guest, but I'm almost like an esteemed guest, because I'm one of the fewer, I would say I'm the only type of immigrant that could come over and look like a Black American.
Right.
And fit in with Black Americans, as opposed to like maybe an Indian American comes over or Indian immigrant comes over. They don't look white. They don't look Black.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I understand the privilege that comes with kind of being able to trace back my heritage like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that as a point as far as heritage, and especially like when we talk about generational trauma and like systemic oppressions that are targeted at foundational Black Americans, really. but it does feel like at this point in time in America, you, for all intents and purposes, are black. Like, and the thing that America does is it washes away individual cultures as much as it can to like categorize us into races. And that's why you're like, that's what the drop down list is on fucking the job applications that you do, is just like, but, and they have to check that you're Latino like 8 times. You're like, why are you checking like that? Why do you need to know? So Hispanic, are you, fishy. You're like, hey, why you got this big old drop down? And then it's like, so don't check those. If you can choose not to identify, choose not to. Yeah. But, my point is, it does feel like, at least to me, as somebody who is, for what I know of my ethnic background, like, descended from the slaves that were in America, that trying to be like, I'm an outsider, but to try to say like I'm still an outsider in like the current era, just to me feels like splitting hairs a little bit, but like that could be like another thing of like, well, yeah, like I just don't know because I wasn't like in black culture like that, so I could be wrong, but I'm just kind of like, yeah, like maybe we should all just like be happy to be here with each other.
But yeah, I agree, because it begs the question, right? You genetically, I would consider FBA, but your childhood is not traditionally FBA, I guess I'd say, right? Yeah. And then you look at other individuals who they might be like biracial, right? And it's demons, like, but they might be biracial, but have grown up in like a black neighborhood.
Exactly.
So, like, which is it?
Yeah.
Is it the genetics? Is it the culture? Do you have to have both? And at that point, I do believe we're splitting hairs.
Right.
Right. Because at the end of the day, like you said, the United States is going to, good, bad, or indifferent, is going to wash all that away, and we're going to be black. Like, the cops aren't going to be like, oh, you're Nigerian?
Yeah.
Like, no.
He Nigerian. Guys, wrap it up. He's Nigerian. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So, yeah, it's interesting. But it is funny. Like, I was thinking about this before we even got on the pod. Like, it's funny because both of your adopted parents are white, right?
Yeah.
So I have the polar opposite. Like, both of my parents I grew up with are African, which is like the blackest you could be, right?
Yeah.
But I think where we align is like, we're both missing Black American cultural references, I would imagine.
For sure. Yeah. I am. I know I am for sure.
Yeah.
You didn't feel like you grew up with any black like references like that?
I mean, just hanging out with like the neighborhood kids maybe, but like even now, like, and it doesn't even have to be Black American really, but like they'll say like a reference from Boys in the Hood, and I'm like, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
And they're like, why, how have you never seen? I was like, why would my dad, who's from Nigeria, put on Boys in the Hood? Like, he doesn't know that movie, and I'm like 5 years old. Why would I put on that movie? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's also like that cultural osmosis thing though, because it's like you could be ostensibly around where you are getting these references, because you know there are these white dudes that really like know a lot of black shit, which is, you know, good, but like that's also like had to be where they were from and like have that level of interest too, where like things didn't necessarily have to cross over, where it does feel like so much of the culture relies so heavily on these references, where it's like, I think we just confuse the idea of culture and our experience with our reference points, especially when it comes to media that is like, I think we just have to delineate, like, this is not, seeing or not seeing Boys in the Hood is not, like, fundamental to your racial makeup. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you have to be like, yeah, that's this shit, but, like, there is a cultural, you know, difference that is, everybody can have access to it. Like, when fucking white dudes are like, oh, man, I've seen Boys in the Hood, you know, however many times. Like, probably Woody out there, probably seen it fucking a bunch of times. Dudes who works here. And so it's like, and then you add the layer to that with how much appropriation does happen, where like, I've talked about this before, but like, I was hanging out with white kids that were like really getting into appropriating the black shit that did cross over. So it's like, you know, they were saying nigga a bunch. They were doing like all this shit like, oh, it was my white friends who showed me Friday and Don't Be a Menace and shit like that. Like, and so what is that? Do I come from it from a place of I am also the appropriator in that situation because I'm over here in white culture, or did I get appropriated back to me what already was my birthright? Like, what is it? And what does any of that mean at the end of the day?
Yeah, like, yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like, is there a cutoff to gaining like that cultural experience? You know what I mean? Whether it's by virtue of being born in a certain location, you're getting that cultural immersion, or actively seeking it out.
Yeah.
Like, is it, you know, like, yeah, it's like, okay, some people are native Spanish speakers, but if you learn Spanish, you still learn Spanish.
You still learn Spanish. Like, it's not different.
But is there little itty bitty pieces of slang that aren't proper Spanish that they learn coming up?
Right.
And can you ever replicate that by enough immersion?
Yeah, it's, I don't know. And that, but like, is there an essential quality to it that makes it like valid or not valid? You know,
that's
like
true.
that's where you get really down to it. And then when we're focusing, especially when I start to feel myself focusing like this much on these like nuances of this and that, and what fractal version of exactly what is right and valid in this like idea that there's some sort of like essentialist black whatever, I start thinking like, man, I feel like I'm getting tricked right now. Like, this feels like the white man's like, focus on this. I'm like, wait a second. Why am I looking down here? Because like splitting the hairs on this or that or whatever. I'm like, wait a second though. Wait a second. They are getting away with something that we are not looking at because we're focused on this infighting situation.
Yeah, right. You gotta see the forest from the trees.
Yeah. I think you just have to zoom out at the end of the day, but I guess it's important to be aware of like where those lines can be. Just like saying, you know, I don't know. If I were to draw a metaphor, it's like gerrymandered districts. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like this is, these are where these lines are, but we're kind of drawing these lines out of like, I don't know, something that like if you go to the South, man, and you're in Atlanta, they'll be like, man, those Louisiana niggas different. Louisiana niggas, and you're like, Louisiana niggas different? They're right over there.
It's a
y'all
drive
are 3 hours away from each other. Like, man, they so different over there, man. I don't know what those Louisiana niggas be doing. It's like, well, I'm from Salt Lake City, baby. So what do you think I'm doing?
But it's funny, like, you from Salt Lake, but you act like you. There's people in the from Inglewood, California, which like is getting better now, but used to be the hood that act similar to you.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yes. Yeah. I think that's also a result of like whatever gentrification or whatever you want to say. Like it's tough because I think I identify maybe even too much at times with my like, oh, like I'm different, so I'm from here or whatever, which at the end of the day, like actually doesn't fucking matter and doesn't fucking matter to me, but seems to matter to a lot of like other people, so I talk about it. But it's like, yeah, there are people from all over who either you went to PWI or you were just like from not an urban center and were whatever. Like that doesn't, I don't know. I just think that everybody that we've had on this podcast has been like, I don't know if before we get on the mic, they'll be like, I don't know if I can tell you how to be black or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, you can, nigga, because we're all here. Yeah. And it feels like everybody has this sense of like, well, hey, I'm not the one because, you know, I have immigrant parents, or I'm from here, but I'm biracial or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but this is all legit stuff. We're all victims of the same thing or whatever.
Maybe that's the psyop.
I mean, yeah, I do feel like it is.
There's this black caricature that we're elusive black caricature that everybody's trying to check the boxes of.
Right.
That doesn't exist because we're probably a lot more. We're not a monolith.
Right.
Yeah.
And like and who is that character? Like, what are we trying to be, Jim Crow? Like, what are we trying to get to?
Yeah, who is this?
Who are we trying to be?
Is this character the ideal? Like,
it's like it's like the missing character that you haven't unlocked in Smash Bros yet. It's like the question mark. Yeah. Little like, I don't know if that's fucking Mr. Game & Watch or what.
Yeah, do we want this character?
Do we want this character?
Yeah.
By the way, Mr. Game & Watch, that is a black man.
That is
both literally and
the
like
blackest,
he's black.
yes.
He's the blackest man.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. It's Mr. Game & Watch.
Yeah.